Hey guys, what's up? Just thought I'd make another quick video. So I'm just out at a job today doing a quick repair for a client, and you can see they've had the roof restored a couple of years ago just before they bought the house. From the front here it doesn't look too bad, but I just wanted to make this video so I can sort of show you the difference between a good restoration and a bad one. So let me just get up there and I'll take you through the whole job. Okay, so since the client bought the house, they've since had this extension put on, and this all looks great. You know, what you do. I'm just here doing the small repairs on the bottoms of the hips for them, and obviously replacing the skylight. But so whoever owned the house previously had the roof restored, and this is just one of the classic examples of a really cheap smash and grab kind of job. And let me show you why. We'll just start going through it. So you can see already, like I said, it's not that old, but the roof is already starting to peel. And that's because, more than likely, you can even see the dirt on the tiles. The roof was never really washed properly in the first place, which means the surface wasn't prepared, so the coat didn't bond properly. Up here on these top ridges, this is just one of the small top ridges. There's no weep holes in any of the top ridge courses. And look, I'll make another video about weep holes and why they're so important. But because they don't have those weep holes, which is just really lazy by the person who did this roof, there's a high potential that when it rains heavily, that will potentially leak. So looking again at the top here, you can see how many dags are on the ridge, and that's also just really poor workmanship, poor quality, because it's just a bit of a mess. And not only that, but a lot of these dags, what they do, you see that one just pulled off? They don't really stick to the roof, and now it leaves a spot underneath the paint where that will start to peel. So all those dags are no good for the coat, because they will just create peeling spots. See, look at that. You can see that? That one just peeled off. Creates a peeling point. Again, up here maybe. That will just peel. So over time, the roof might look good for the first 6 months to a year, but after that, it'll just start to peel and look like shit, which is what it's already starting to do. This valley iron at the front, there's a heap of dust and debris still on the iron. They've just painted straight over the top. Let's have a look. Look at that. No storm seal in the valley irons, and these are actually the original valley irons. They haven't even been replaced. So you can tell they're the originals because they've just got rust all over them. Now, look, you can even see there, that is actually rusted through. That has a rust hole in the valley iron already. And that's just absolute shit. So whoever paid for this roof restoration, hopefully they didn't pay for a top-notch job and get this shit, because those valley irons have just been painted, and the paint hides the problem. But you can actually see right there, there's got a rust hole in the valley iron. So that, and these aren't even clipped in, they're not even glued in. There's no storm seal in the valley irons. So that whole valley, they haven't even been cut and grinded. It's just rough as Hessian undies. So straight away, you're looking at that valley, you know it's a really poor quality restoration. I mean, look, keep going across here. Look at all the mud up on these. Well, that's just been bogged on. Looks like a pterodactyl did a giant shit up here. And again, no weep holes in the top ridges, so again, high possibility of that leaking. Peeling points from all these dags on the roof. Look at this one. There's another dag there. So really, what I don't think these guys even blew the roof off or prepared the roof before they started coating it. Chimney flashing. Look, I'm not even going to take the tiles out around this chimney flashing, because you can actually already see it's just the original flashing. They haven't refurbished it or anything like that. And although they have painted it, they've only put one shitty coat on the front there, which isn't great. Also, you can see at one point these gutters have been replaced. So they're Zincalume gutters or Colorbond gutters. Right, and if these valley irons are original, these valley irons will be galvanized iron. And galvanized iron and Colorbond or Gal and zinc are dissimilar metals, and that will cause the gutters to rust prematurely. And again, you can see these are the original valley irons because there's still rust just at the overlap of the tile. Keep coming around. You can see again all this coat's already starting to peel off because the surface was never prepared properly. Now I hope, look at it, it's just peeling off. I hope for the client's sake, or the previous client, because it was the previous client who got this job done, I hope for their sake they didn't pay top dollar for a job like this. Because like I said, this is the difference between a cheap paint your roof kind of job or doing a quality roof restoration. And you can tell from the street, it doesn't look too bad. The paint still looks shiny, but when you get up here and have a closer look with a trained eye, you can see the actual roof is a bit of a mess and the quality of the coat and the finish is really poor. So those are some of the things that you need to look out for when you're thinking about getting your roof restored. Don't just go for the cheapest price, otherwise you'll end up with the cheapest job. And that's pretty much the saying for everything in life. You get what you pay for. So be aware of really poor quality tradesmen like this, not just in roofing, but in every trade. And yeah, I just thought I'd put this one together, and now you know a little bit more. Look at this over here as well. Look at that. The pointing is just dripping. So they hadn't even waited for the pointing to dry before they started putting coats on. And now it's all dropped, and that's the finish you're left with. Do your research. Go to the experts. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.